they bring a leaves. Can I wipe my butt with this leaf? I was expecting they will show that.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Life After Borneo. I'm Lauren Ashley Beck, and joining us today is a man that is very familiar with goats on AstroTurf, season 41, Castaway King Naseer. Naseer, how are you doing today?
Oh, wow. Hey, Lauren. Well, yeah, I'm as confused as a goat on AstroTurf, but I'm doing great today.
I love it. I love it. It's so great to sit down and talk with you, Naseer. And I know our viewers are so excited to get all the behind the scenes information about your Survivor 41 game. So let's jump right in. How many times did you apply to play Survivor?
I applied, I would say 6 times. 6 times I applied. Even I have watched your application on YouTube, even though they said that don't look at the past contestants because you have to be who you are, but at least you need to have some kind of idea. But I know who I am, but for sure, right? Maybe not when I'm going home with idol in my pocket, but before that, yeah. So yeah, 6 times. But I did a lot of videos, but I did not post. I was like, maybe this is not the right one. This is not the right one. So yeah, and almost for 5 years consistently, I tried it.
Wow, that's awesome, Naseer. You're living proof that no matter what, if you persevere and keep trying, you can make your dreams happen for yourself. So did you do anything to prepare to play Survivor?
To be honest with you, no. I did not do well. I tried a couple of times, but the weather was bad. Tried to start fire, but still I did start it, and I tried to refresh it like a little bit, right? Because I used to, well, of course, the way we were living back in Sri Lanka. So then my wife always watching your videos. I'm like, Lauren keeps telling that you should know how to make fire to be on Survivor. You should listen to Lauren. I'm like, yes, but I know how to make it. She's like, no, I can't. I never saw you made fire at home. I'm like, yes, okay. Then she ordered some the what they call the flint, and we have machete and all kind of stuff. She ordered, even my father-in-law, he ordered a couple of machete. I'm like, Dad, you don't have to. I know how to make fire. So then I proved them. Well, you see that I can make fire. Then apart from that, I do exercise and I'm a trail runner, and I'm an adventurist, right? I love to be. I'm an outdoor cat. So so yeah, I did some weightlifting regardless, even though if I'm going to be on the show or not, I do. If not, my muscles will start shaking. It's not because of alcohol though, it's because of my muscles. So yeah, I did not prepare mentally. I was thinking like, just be who you are, because the days on Survivor, watching as a super fan, anything can happen. It doesn't matter, even if you have an idol, but if another person have a idol nullifier, or like a Liana had her steal or something, it's gone. It doesn't matter, right?
When you landed on that beach, what was it like having cameras all up in your face?
For me, camera-wise, well, going through all these interviews with casting team, I think since I was doing a lot of Zoom interviews, I felt like that is like tribal council every single day, something, right? It's front of camera with like, yeah, today you will have like 10 producers will be talking to you. Yeah, then I'm like mentally preparing. It is going to be the same, I guess, right? So when you got on the beach, I'm already playing the game. I wasn't really looking into the cameras, to be honest with you.
A lot of people will ask me, Naseer, they'll say like, how do you not look at the cameras? And I'm like, at some point, you just kind of forget that they're there. Can you speak to that a little bit? Yeah. It sounds weird, but it's true, right?
Like, for an example, I can give you, like, I do snore, right? So I know Danny did too, my big brother, he did, we both snore a lot. So like for some day, like during the day, I like to go and take a bath or whatever on the beach and come back, change my sarang, and I just lay on the bamboo and fall asleep. Even during the day, I start snoring, right? So then sometime you wake up, the microphone will be right there. I'm like, move on, So it's like, you don't feel it, like it's just there 24/7. It's like you're breathing air, right? Or you're breathing the same camera crews are everywhere with the cameras. I'm like, what do you want to do? Be shy? Shy is not in my life, so it doesn't matter to me. So it's everywhere. I'm like, people, I'm sure people have, or contestants or castaways have some kind of shy. They don't immediately get into that environment. So I'm pretty good in adapting into different culture, different environment. So camera crew was, yeah, I'm in hospitality industry, right? Wherever I go, it's always something media. So yeah, it is not easy for everybody. I can tell you that. That's why some people try to play the game under the radar, right? Because they don't want to be on the camera.
Absolutely. That's so true.
Yeah.
What season of Survivor inspired you to learn English, Naseer?
Season 21. That was the first season I watched. Yeah, Nicaragua, isn't it? Yes, it is. And that was the first Survivor episode or the season I watched it. Then I'm like, wow, yeah, I understand Jeff talking. Yeah, tribal council. I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't know even how to ask that. I'm like to my wife, what tribal council? Then she has to explain the way I will understand, and she can manage, or she used to speak Arabic. So she studied abroad in Egypt. So I was, we lived in the United Arab Emirates, right? So I can speak Arabic. Not now, we lose us everything in America, except English, you know. So then, so somehow, you know, it as long as you love each other, language is not a really matter, right? So you understand, you try to explain things, we understand. So that is how I learned. And I'm like, you know what? This is the great show. It's exactly kind of the way I was living my life back in Sri Lanka, something related to me. And my wife loves Survivor. Matter of fact, when she was 13, I guess she wrote a journal about Survivor in her classroom. So if I'm not mistaken, she told me that they had a homework to do, or some kind of something to write. I did not study English, you know. So, and immediately she wrote about Survivor. The entire class or her friends lost in an island or jungle. Then she's trying to go to an island to get someone to rescue her. Then there happened to be Survivor filming there. So that was when she was 13 years old. Wow. Imagine. Wow. So we have very long connection. It's a Survivor lived. Oh, it's in our blood. It meant to be for us. So
yeah, wow, Naseer, that's so cool to hear. And it's really like a full circle moment. I love that you both had that. So when you saw your cast initially, who did you think was gonna win besides yourself, of course? Like, who, looking at the cast, were you like, oh, they could definitely take this whole thing?
Well, when I look at the cast at the airport, I was kind of confused. Everybody wearing differently. I'm like, you know, it's everybody kind of sad. We are not talking to whom. Well, we were a little bit, and but you know, everybody thinking their gameplay. Of course, Survivor starts whenever you start. It starts from LA, right?
Yes, it does. And I want to explain that to our viewers, because a lot of people don't realize that we do all fly from Los Angeles to Fiji together. So we're all sizing each other up on the plane, trying to figure out who's who. Let's talk about that, Naseer.
Yeah, because you can't look at each other's eyes, right? Or you can't do any sign, because immediately all the managers who's there for us to support, to travel with us, the behind the scene employees, right? And which are awesome people. I respect them a lot. Behind the scene, whoa, they work really hard. Wow. Salute for them. You know? So they will scare you, like you can feel it. Don't lose your chance. You're already here. Don't try. You can talk to them when you are on the island. So when you hear don't lose your chances, then you don't even think about looking at each other's face, right? I don't
absolutely
right. So immediately, like, wow, for me it's tough because I'm in a hospitality industry. I'm an extrovert. I like to talk. I know you love you are out there. That's why you are a great mentor in terms of social media. You should be in a different place than what you do. I'm being honest with you.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much, Naseer. I appreciate that.
You are in a different level in terms of social media. And I don't know how you have that energy, Lauren. well, I'm sure you will have a great future. You are going to be.
Thank you, Naseer. Coming from you, that means a lot to me.
So yeah, it is not easy. People think that you are on the. It's a game that starts from the day you are learned it in LA. It's not when you learn it on the island. So let's come to the point. Like, I wasn't thinking about. I wasn't trying to look at the faces. Even though you try to look at Danny, or I saw Danny smiles. Oh, I'm like, when I saw he smiled, I'm like, he has a daughter or he has a son. Immediately I know it, because as a dad I know, because so I'm like, yeah, he's a genuine person. Everybody else like looking at, and even Dishan told me, man, when I saw you at the airport with big muscles holding, like, I was thinking you'll be like a Tony. You'll be like a Tony. Oh my goodness, imagine that if I got on with same tribe, he will be like Tony. I had to be really careful. Then he's like, no man, you're so cool. It's totally different the way you're looking at them, right? Well, then when we were in the quarantine, we were like we had a little bit of chance that we can do stuff like to do walking or something. Well, I was looking at Ricard and Voce. I'm like, these two dudes can win. And of course, Evie, because the way they walk or the way they act, I'm like, these are smart people. They'll be very strategic, So I was thinking that, but the game is not all about strategic or who knows the game well, who plays the game, challenge beast or the best attitude. It doesn't work in this game. You know what I mean? So always that is my medicine. Like, oh, don't bring your mind, because you are here to win this game, right? So don't even think about he can win. So then why are you here? Right? So that is why I'm like, no, I'm here for the same reason. Yeah, we all are 18 castaways, are beautiful. They have very good personalities, different personalities, of course. And everybody has their own stories. That's the whole reason we were there, right? Different stories. So I'm sure it is an amazing story. And yes, absolutely, it did. That's the whole reason we are there. So I'm one of them. So there is no reason sometimes, as a human, we doubt ourselves sometimes, right? We all do. So then I'm like, no, I'm here. There is no there's no difference. And also I was I felt so included as diversity. The cast it's an amazing diverse cast, So that made me immediately like, yeah, I'm not one of them. Like, yeah, I will go, yeah, he's a third world Asians, that it's easy, keep him for the numbers and get him out. No, I love the way I went out because I was the biggest threat. If I'm sitting on that final 3, well, let's say final 4, nobody can win making fire making against me. No way. Then if I'm sitting on final jury 3, that $1 million is in my pocket. But yeah, I don't have that $1 million, but I do have 1 million fans. Those hearts are very important. Right?
That's very true, Naseer. And you do. And I love that you're speaking to the fact of it's very easy. You're human to doubt yourself and to look at people and get intimidated. But like you said, every single person there has a story to tell. And whether you're a challenge beast or a social threat or whatever, everyone has the opportunity to win Survivor. It's just where the cards fall. Yeah. So shifting to your game, what was your favorite challenge that you did when you played Survivor?
The challenge that I hated, let's start this way.
Yeah, let's start with the challenge you hated.
The challenge that I hated, the one, you drop your buffs, then you have to compete to win. When whoever wins that challenge, of course, we divided drawing rocks, right? Then you go to, then you pick. So me and Erica, we got our gray rocks. You remember that? During the merge, the challenge, one of the biggest and hardest challenge that was ever built, I would say, on Survivor. I mean, all the castaways will say every challenge is harder, but that one, yes, definitely. I'm like, when I saw those obstacles, I felt like I was hungry. And even though I'm not showing that, I always happy out there and, having a coconut and I'm good to go. But when I saw that challenge, I'm like, I don't want to participate in this one. I prayed, I want to draw the gray rock. Because I want that food, right? So apart from that, every other challenges, I enjoyed it. I love challenges. And And also I was sad, I was disappointed on my self on my last challenge that I lost, I would say, because my entire right arm went numb. So that was the day that I went home, right? So I love that challenge, but at the same time, I hate myself on that day because my body, I can win a challenge against two entire tribes, you know, against Uwa and Yasa. But on that day, I should have won that. But yeah, so when I got into like 3 minutes into the game, my right arm went numb and I was holding for 17 minutes with just one arm. So then Jeff was keep yelling, Naseer, take your arms out. Yeah, so then I can't feel it. That's what I'm saying, Jeff, I can't feel my hand or anything. So then I gave up after that 30 seconds, then Erica dropped it. So I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so close. Naseer, do you find it difficult to focus when Jeff is like, you gotta dig, Naseer?
No, you know what? I think I told this to Jeff. So, or even to the managers or the behind the scene team who travel with us, right? I do trail running. In my recording, I have kept some records like dig, like Jeff. So I always think that when I run, so like I always trying to increase my pace when I'm doing trail running. Like, okay, I always think about Jeff. Dig it. Think about your own survivor. Jeff is the one just pushing you here to do it. So I love the way he just go and he will be straightforward, right? He will tell you no matter what. If it's good, he will tell you, yeah, Naseer is doing great. If it's not, Naseer, he's the worst one. You know, he will tell you. So I would say I love that part from Jeff because he encourages you. He will do everything possibly equally to everyone to push hard, and he always say play the game, like give everything, have fun, you know. So you will see the way he said give everything. I love Jeff.
I hear you. It's definitely motivation. I definitely see it as motivation. Yeah, absolutely. So if Luvu had gone to tribal after that first challenge, how do you think the votes would have fallen, or how would you have voted?
Oh, the first challenge? Definitely, because we had a deal that we are not going to look for an idol until they come back, Dishan and Danny. All right, then they went and looked for an idol. Well, that's a way to play the game, right? But I came and told them, so it backfired me. So it was on the first day I'll be going home, I'm sure.
You think that's how it would have gone?
Yeah, maybe I could have tried, maybe not, but most of the tribal councils went live. So I may try to, even though if I take Erica and definitely Dishan, Sydney, and Danny, they were together because Sydney went and told Naseer that this was happening, right? Then immediately Dishan and Danny said, no, we did not. So they already together. So Heather and Erica and me, for me. So if I join Heather and Erica, I have to. Then it'll be 3-3. Then it'll be, one of us. Well, yeah.
When you were on the beach and you did that, I saw it as you were building trust with and trying to create an alliance. Exactly. Did you feel the backlash from that immediately, Naseer? Were you like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have said that?
Yes. I felt it immediately. I should have waited and talked to Danny and Dishan and say, hey, I saw that you guys, you were trying to go on the other side of on the beach. What was the reason? Then I could have changed the story, right? Then I was loyal. I told the truth to the girls over there, but it did not go that way.
Yeah, I saw it as more of a bonding thing than I'm trying to tattle on them. Because I definitely agree that when you land on that beach, looking for an idol immediately is a big no-no.
Immediately, well, that's a normal thing, right? When you land on the beach, first and second day, most of the time you try to build the shelter, get fire going, bring some firewoods and what the stuff to burn the fire or whatever, then learn each other, then try to go out and to search an idol, right? But that was the first 20 minutes they are looking for an idol, which is a great way to play the idol. And I saw Heather was looking for an idol too. She was all over. So I'm like, wow, we are here just 30 minutes into the game, 30 minutes into the game, immediately going to find an idol here. So let's tell the truth, right? And try to be loyal. And I was loyal on most of the game, the entire game, right? So then after that, I felt it immediately. Every single time I felt it, I was on the chopping block. But am I going to show that to them? No way. So I will still feeding them, and I'll be the happiest kid out there. Then they will be start thinking, wow, he's on the bottom. Why he's happy? Maybe he has something, special advantage or something, you know? So I created that kind of atmosphere. I just enjoyed it.
Did you ever consider solidifying your alliance with Heather and Erica?
I tried with Erica for 11 days.
Why do you think that didn't happen?
Well, Erica, she played a great game as a gameplay, half of the game, I would say, before. So that was her gameplay, all right? Maybe I was on the, I was misreading how she wanted to play, right? So she took it simple. I tried with Erica for almost 11 days. That on the 11 days, she came and said that, okay, I will work with you and we can vote Danny out. I'm like, no. Show me 11 days you didn't talk to me, you want to come. So every time I try to talk to her, she will just, oh, you know, I had to do this, and she will move on. Yeah So Heather Mama H, so she will say yes. I talk to Heather almost every day. We had good and bad times. Some days we don't talk. You know, so you know it. You've been there, done that, right? So, you know, sometimes we have fun, sometimes we don't, just sit back and relax. Sometimes we try to make some strategy, and sometimes it doesn't work. Then we move on, win the challenge to come back. So that's why we did most of them. Then I was thinking, I will never throw a challenge, regardless if I know or I don't know.
I want to ask you about that. When Danny and Deshawn were attempting to throw the challenge, did you recognize that in that moment? And like you just said, why wouldn't you throw a challenge? I also don't think that it's ever a good idea to throw a challenge.
It's ugly. It looks ugly. Yeah, it is. It is a strategy, but Survivor tribal councils can go live most of the time, right? Anything can happen. I rather sit on the bamboo than on tribal council, whatever we sit on. Agree?
I agree with you, because tribal is a scary, you want to avoid tribal council as much as possible. You never know what could happen.
Why do you want to take a chance? Anything can happen. Anything can happen on tribal, right? So why you want to take a chance? Not even a single minute. Even if I play again, definitely there is no way that I will throw a challenge in my life. Not even in personal, professional, wherever. If there is something that to compete, I will give my 150%. That's me. Yes. When I saw, I did not realize, I know that they were talking a little bit here and there, the way the show was edited. I wasn't naive as it shows, because I'm very happy the way they gave me the edit. Well, you know, I'm very happy about the edit. Thank you so much. Thank you, CBS. Thank you, Survivor. Thank you, Jeff. and the behind the scene team, you know, everyone I'm talking about. So, yeah, so then I know from the beginning, I know it. I'm not going to throw a challenge. That's a promise. If I find an idol, I will never tell anyone, which is I did not, until you have to. Then I will never throw a challenge. So I promised to my wife that too. I promised to Diana. So anyway, so then normally Danny and Deshawn will be a little faster than, you know, they try to do their best, you know. I mean, everybody does, but you can see in terms of strength wise, and Danny can carry big stuff and bigger than me, you know. So and Deshawn will be same, you know, big guys, right? I'm very happy about that. So on that day, they were like taking their time. They're like on picnic, but still, I'm not going to give up. But well, still we did our part. And when they throw in the ring, Deshawn, he's a good in terms of throwing stuff, because prior to that challenge, you know, the sandbag throwing on top of the stuff, he won the challenge for us. I tried, I couldn't win, not even Danny, or we did not do it. He put all 5 of them, right? I'm like, Deshawn, something wrong here. Then I asked, may I come inside? May I come? And he was keep refusing somehow, not on my face. I'm like, something wrong. Then when he threw one, a couple, many he did, then one went off the platform that the challenge was on. I just, without even asking, I jump on. Yes, I jump on without. After that, I kind of give up. No, I'm not going to keep asking you, because it's always better when you are as a group playing on a challenge on Survivor. Instead of just try to jump in, you better ask each other, hey, let's do a plan. If you throw like 5, if not, come back. All right. So when you talk to them, also you be nice. Instead of saying, hey, you are not doing it, I want to come and do it. No, ask them, may I come in? Can I help you out? You have to be the teamwork. Then that is the only time I tried. A couple of times. Then Dishan is like, yeah, he's keep playing. I can see. I'm like, okay, it was a right moment. One ring went off the platform. I jump in and I get 1, 2. Then it took a couple other times. The third one is done. So otherwise, I could have finished it in like that.
That's so wild. Yeah, it was so funny. I actually felt like you knew, because I feel like when they edited it together, they showed you kind of looking at them like, what's going on? Something seemed a little fishy.
Yeah, I realized when Dishan throwing the rings, when I asked, may I come in? May I do it? Then he's keep refusing in a nice way, of course. But I'm like, no, these guys are trying something different. Let me get in.
Yeah.
All right? So then Danny and Dishan came back. Then they want to throw the following challenge.
After that,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The whole reason we want to get Erica out, because with Erica, we were kind of don't know what to do, because she's not really aligning with anybody else. We try to get a great vibe. So after that challenge, we had some, of course, we were not trusting each other, but we had fun together. But when it comes to voting, we don't trust each other. I mean, nobody trusts anybody, right? On Survivor. So then, that was the reason. And on that challenge, I would say first you have to dive into water, grab some puzzle pieces. I was carrying, if you go back and watch that video, carrying Erica in one hand, carrying a puzzle piece on the other hand.
Oh my gosh.
On the challenge that they were trying to lose. The following challenge, which Dishan doesn't know until we won. He thinks that, still we're going to win the challenge, because, okay, Danny, Sydney, and Dishan always together, right? So then Danny and Dishan came and asked, Danny and Dishan came and asked by the water well, can we throw the challenge to get Erica out? I'm like, that's ugly. Throwing challenge is not really good. It never went farther than what you expect, throwing a challenge. I said no. Then we were kind of yes and no. Sydney and Danny and Dishan and I feel like, okay, this is a good opportunity to bond together again, to rebuild the relationship. At the time I said yes, then I stopped it. So now they're thinking, otherwise it will be the same talk no matter what, throwing the challenge and all those strategy. I said yes, then we stopped. Then still, when we when we are strategizing, that is the time I said, no, I'm not throwing the challenge. And I asked Sydney also said, no, don't throw the challenge. Yeah. Then I had to jump on, and on that challenge also, most of this stuff, I just jump on and carry Sydney, then Danny came back. I did almost everything, even the slingshot. So yeah. So Dishan was surprised. He was thinking until strategize that time we were throwing the challenge. That's what he was thinking. Then we won. Yeah. So that was supposed to be thrown, but I did not let them to throw the challenge either.
Wow. I love this behind the scenes tea, Naseer. So in speaking of trusting and not trusting people on Survivor, when your alliance sent Erica to exile, did you feel like that was a mistake? Because considering the fact that your alliance didn't trust Erica, you all had to assume she was going to get some type of advantage if she went somewhere else, right?
Yes. So Erica always, we had an easy vote, because by then, me, Danny, Sydney, and Dishan, even though we had talk, we want to get them out. Always, I tried to get Danny out every time. It happens, that's Survivor, right? But we had solid alliances on that night. I know that they did not do rock, paper, scissors, just immediately there. But I think now looking back and looking at the show, I think it would have been better if they choose me to go. Right? Because Erica will break the hourglass regardless. If Naseer there, I have an idol in my pocket. So at least I have some numbers back home, I would say, in Luvu. And then if I go there, I would have enjoyed like that 2 days. No, you will not see me, I'm crying on that exile island. So yeah, I've been talking to Danny. Danny said that was, even on his interview, he said I should have sent Naseer on that day. Then you know what? Maybe I may not break that. Maybe I may, I don't know. But Erica, for sure, she's breaking it that, right? Because that's the exact moment that she want, or she was waiting for something like that.
Absolutely. So almost everyone that I've interviewed, Naseer, from your cast has said that they think the turn back time advantage is unfair. How do you feel about it?
Well, see, I'm a person that I enjoy anything comes, because when you play Survivor, because you are in a game or on a game that you don't know what's going to happen. If anything comes, yeah, maybe for many people it did. But for me, I'm not really upset with that or anything. That's a great twist. Never happened. Yeah, it looks somewhat unfair, but depending on how you take that the twist, right? For me, I'm like, whoa, that's something new. Okay, let's find out what's going to happen. As long as I'm not going home, I'm fine with that. Right? Absolutely. I like all these twists. That's the whole way that I'm like, that's a great twist, I would say. But I understand, and I can feel others as well. Like why? Because they really played that hard challenge to get that feast, and but it's a game again. You're playing, you're going to be on Survivor, right? Anything. It's not all about that assumptions, right? Like it always changes. Like for an example, you know it. The tree male will come and tell you something, then it will be a question mark at the end. I'm like, okay, what's even this purpose for? Like, yeah, right? Like it's not always the same. So why do you want to set your mind like, yeah, you win. We have this spouse. Now we have to give that up. And again, it's only 26 days, even though, because, 26 days, you know what I want to really mention this one here. Yeah, it is 26 days, but it's tougher than, I respect all Survivor players, everybody, because you all had rice, most of the seasons, right? Had rice, you had all this hammock, and you had the machete and the pod, and of course you had some ropes or lines to tie around your camp. We never had those stuff. I had to find all those resources. Like we don't have a piece of rope even. No. I
didn't know you guys didn't get rope.
No.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Naseer, you would be impressed. I actually learned how to make rope out of plants before I went out there, but we were provided rope. I didn't know you guys didn't.
Every single season we provided ropes to tie around the shelter, how to tie the bamboo and everything. Not on Survivor season 41, my friend. So it literally back to basic. Even on season 1 and 2, 3, they had stuff to tie around things, right? This is the first season they did not give even rope to tie. So I used every single vines that I can get out, and I did the way we tie the coconut, the palm fronds back in Sri Lanka. So basically you cut a huge palm fronds and burn it, then it becomes soft, so you can tie around those. That is how we built the shelter. So 39 days normally you all had one reward challenge, one immunity challenge, 1 day rest, or just to talk trash or just try to fight each other. I don't mean not physical fight, you know what I mean. Yes. Right? Yeah. So backstab or lying and do all those stuff, manipulate people. But we don't have time for this. So, and still, they gave 13 episodes every Wednesday, right? Every Wednesday they had an episode, the same exact amount. And I know there are a lot of twists came into this game. Maybe that is why they feel like, it's all about twist and all kind of stuff. But I enjoyed it. I'm like, it was great. Yeah, sometimes you don't understand, but when you do a couple of times, you're fine, good to go, Right?
Yeah, that's something I want to ask. I do want to talk about the advantages, but did you feel like it was fast-paced day to day? Because like you said, we did have a lot of downtime where I was like, okay, what are we doing? This is boring. For you, was it like every single day there was something and you just couldn't rest?
Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. Maybe only one day, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. One day, then 2 more days, which is when that merge happened. Erica went to the Exile Island. So those are the only 1 or 2, 3 days. So 2 days means 1 night only over there, right? So no rest time at all.
Wow. So in talking about the advantages and understanding how to use them, was there confusion on the beach? Like, wait, what is this beware advantage? What is this goats on AstroTurf?
Well, ghost and astroturf, because I never heard that or heard about the phrases, because English is my fourth language, my friend. So then I'm like, what the heck is this? Then the producer's like, do you know what does it mean? I'm like, nope. Well, before I do anything, right, I found the idol. I worked really hard to find that idol, right? Then I found that idol. I'm not going
How long did it take you to find that idol?
For me, it took me like at least 5-6 days, I would say. Yeah, it took me hell of work, because I remember when we lost that reward challenge, Heather stayed here. So reward challenge, then Danny, Sydney, and Deshaun, Erica took the boat, went out there to get a fish or something, right? Then they came up, flipped the boat around, lost everything. So during that time, it almost 3-4 hours on that day only, all right? Almost 3-4 hours. Only Heather was crying and there. So I felt like, okay, I will stay with her, all right? But at the same time, I will make her come, but I don't want to stay for all 4 hours with Heather, because it's not really, there is not necessary to someone crying and you're just sitting by for 4 hours with her. It doesn't look good. So what I did, okay, this is a great opportunity. I told her, Mama H, you wait and relax, okay? So all these four of them are out when fishing on the beach. They can see like 2-3 miles out there, right? So I sweep the entire island. I'm sure on that 4 hour, at least I went and searched around like 1,000 priests, thousands. I was like telling myself, I already cleaned almost the entire island, only couple places left. Then yes, I got it. As I said, no one ever on Survivor history utilized the island the way I did on Survivor. Because they call me Mr. Cave, Mr. Woodman, or Jungle Boy over there, even Sydney and everything. Like, I don't know what we can do without you here. Because I know the plans. Even I don't want to mention names. Like, they bring a leaves. Can I wipe my butt with this leaf? Because they're scared of is it poison or not. Because I was the book for them over there. Like, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that.
Wow, that's great, Naseer. And it was probably nice for your fellow castmates to have you there to trust, to know what to wipe with or what they could and could not eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Naseer, as somebody that spent a lot of time with the winner of your season, why do you feel like we didn't get a lot of Erica's game pre-merge?
Well, that was her gameplay, I guess. She was under the radar, and maybe that was her mindset. Like, she prepared her. For me, I want to go out and I enjoy it, right? I want to enjoy it too. I want to be out there and do things and get done things. But her personality is like, okay, stay under the radar, and when the time comes, I will jump on. That's what she did. So yeah. Well, if you are not running around the island, or if you're not looking for something, if you're sitting right on the bamboo all the time, you don't get a lot of airtime, unfortunately, except confessions, right? But on Survivor, if you're on an island, you have to do something. Try to throw a challenge at least. I'm just kidding. Right?
Exactly.
Something, right? Like, it's airtime is all about how much of airtime of your time that you are given, or trying to do things, try to find an idol, or go swim, try to get a fish, or try to find food, right? Those are the airtime. It just give them a time to record you what you do and all kind of stuff. That is the reason the camera crews are there. But if I'm saying in general, okay, it's not for Erica, I'm saying in general. So if anybody just sitting on the bamboo, even sometime, let's say I sit for 2 hours or 3 hours on the bamboo, well, the camera has to be on, right? On and focusing on me, but at the same time, it's boring for them too. So you can air that every time, maybe 1 second of that, right? That's what I'm saying. But yeah, but Erica played the under the radar game, and she knows the game for sure. That's why she was pretty good in reading the games too, because if you look at it, no one ever voted for her. She was always on the right when it comes to voting, and she played a great game. So when the time came to play the game, she did play, right?
a lot of people, when they're sitting at home on the couch, watching the TV screens, they're yelling at castaways to play their idol. Can we talk about how you were feeling at that final tribal council? Because it did seem like you were going to play your idol for yourself. What was the final straw that made you be like, you know what, I'm just going to hold on to it?
So, Ricard, Shan, and myself. So we were thinking like, we had a great relationship since after the merge. So what happened was like, okay, I did not tell I have an idol to Lugo, right? So when we went to the merge feast, I saw Ricard and Shan joined us and Evie from other tribes. So now we know I had to tell everybody that I have an idol. So, but from that feast, Shan and Ricard and I told them, hey, don't trust this, don't trust this, don't this, no. So, well, now they found out. Then I was reached out and said that, yeah, I should have trusted you more than anybody else. So anyway, it is past. So on that day, yeah, I lost the challenge. I have the idol in my pocket. I'm like, you know what? I need one more day. I know that they're not going to keep me. I know I'll be going home soon because they can't win against me. They can see that, right? So I was thinking I need one more day. I'm trying to hold this idol because it wasn't easy. It was an easy vote, Heather, on that day because Erica we can because she had the necklace around her neck, right? That was easy. So that was not the great move for Shan or on that day. Well, they played really good. That is a way to be playing Survivor. It's a classic blindside. It's amazing. So see what happened right next day. You don't have an alliance to go back. Then everybody. So I told to Shan, hey, you have an idol, you have an extra vote. I have an idol and Ricard. So we have solid 3 here. We can get Xander or we can get someone else. Or Liana, she was with us, right? Then we have solid 4. Then don't trust Danny or Deshaun. But they're playing the game over there. We are not to make any friends over there. They're playing, friends, but at the same time playing the game. So I need one more day. I was thinking, Heather, then Eric and Heather came and asked, Eric asked me, can you play your idol to Heather? I said, no. And I told her that I apologize, I can't play your idol for you, right? I'd rather be honest and tell the truth. But because I felt it, I had the solid relationship with Shan and Ricard because prior to that, we gave up our, we did not participate on a challenge and we gave up our shot to get the rice, me and Ricard and Shan. So we had our relationship. So I was thinking, it's okay. I need one more day. So if I can go through easy vote Heather, so then that turned out to be good for Ricard because he was able to build a relationship with Erica and for his own game. But for Shan's game, that wasn't the right move over there. They could have kept me. I'm a solid, loyal number for them. Right? Then they go back to the, because Ricard, he's a challenge piece too, right? He played really good and he's very strategic, very clever, smart guy, right? So when we go back there, right, then Erica will be shaking. She has to join us regardless because Danny, Deshaun, and they don't trust Erica at that time, right? So because that is the reason they want to throw the challenge to vote her out, right? Because she's very quiet. You can just conversation on game wise, but apart from that, she's very friendly and great to be chatting about food and all kind of stuff. We had fun. So otherwise that's what I was thinking. I'm not going to play. I have the number. I have Ricard and I have Shan. So there we go. That's what happened. I wasn't not even a little bit thinking about playing for me. I told Heather I may playing for me, for myself, but I wasn't because I know I had some relationship. So it did not. Immediately next, Shan followed me. Otherwise, I would have been there. We have a solid. Then I said, when we get to final 6, we can play. We can go against each other. It's okay. We have to play the game harder and harder when you get to final 6, right? Then you play your idol, I play my idol. Then we'll go with the challenge and take it from there.
When I spoke with Shannon Liana and we talked about the Black Alliance, I had asked her what was the feeling about the Black Alliance on the beach. And she let me know that you and she had had some conversations about you not being in that alliance as a person of color. So can we talk about that?
Yeah, I wasn't. And I'm not really mad about or sad about that, because I was there to play the game. Because when you get into those, which is very beautiful things what they try to do. I mean, the whole reason I was there as a very diverse cast, because of all, is it right to say black people or black castaways who played? They fight for it, like Miss Wesapia or Sean, the teacher, right? And who all they fight, and everybody, right? I mean, you are in that too, right? You fight to have 50-50 diversity, which is amazing. That's the whole reason I was there too, because of the minority. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone who really tried hard to get done. And yeah, so, but again, I would say, Deshaun, he did not play that game over there. Oh yeah, they want to be that way, but I don't think Deshaun, he played his game over there. Which what I will try to say here, Deshaun, I'm very glad, I'm very happy I was able to meet Deshaun after the game and to spend some time with him. He's a wonderful soul, you know, he's a wonderful soul. And I'm very happy the way he played, because he played the game. He wasn't there to build in like a black alliances or anything. He wasn't there for that. He was there to play the game. And I was there to sue, because I end up telling them even like, yeah, you keep saying that minority and black alliance together here, but where am I in here? You're just telling, you're not including me on that. I have to come to you all and ask what's going on, because you are using me only as needed. But I was included as a diverse cast. That's what I was thinking. I'm there to play a game, right? It's not all about color for me over there, right? I'm there as Naseer. I'm there as Survivor Season 41 cast, because I'm playing the game out there. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course.
So that's what Deshaun did too. I really happy that I was able to meet Deshaun after the finale party, and we had great time. We were like, went out, and you know, until 3 a.m. he was with us.
I love that.
Deshaun, he's a wonderful soul. You know, he played the game over there. I respect him a lot. I'm very glad that even my wife, she's very happy to meet Deshaun. He's a very wonderful human being.
I love that. Who are you the most loyal to, Naseer, in the game?
Where you think?
Who were you the most loyal to in the game?
Again, it is depending on the day. But let me tell you something. We had Danny was, of course, Danny and Evie, Tiffany, and Deshaun. Deshaun, he's a very strategic. He's like, he's a villain, sweet villain. You know, I always tell him. I always tell him, dude, if you go down, I'm voting you. You know, I can't go against you because you know how to talk to people. I'm good to talk to people, but at the same time, I'm in sales too for 17 years, right? I know how to talk to people, and but he has that charm that he can sit and talk for 10 hours, no problem. That Deshaun, right? I'm like, you are very strategic, but you are a sweet villain. That's what I tell him. All right. So yeah. Loyal wise, Lauren, it is depending on the game. It's depending on, but Danny, he's pretty loyal. As I said, Shan, not Shan, sorry. And Liana too, even though she was going after me one day, but again, she's playing the game. Everybody think about how we can stay one more day. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there is nothing to complain or say anything about why they are not loyal. We have to think about, we are playing Survivor. We are going beyond Survivor. I mean, the only game that you can backstab, you can lie, and you can do, even though I did not lie a lot though. So, you know.
Well, yeah, and ultimately that's what people need to understand. As viewers, we're watching a game. This isn't how people are in real life. They're not backstabbing and lying to the people. At least we can hope they're not doing that in real life.
I can put one thing on here. Whatever you see on Survivor, people, what they do, how they do things, that is exactly their personalities back home.
You think so, Naseer?
I think so. I think so. I'm telling you, as an experienced like on Survivor season 41, because when it comes to gameplay, that is when you can lie. That is when you can throw people under the bus on live a tribal council, or can lie to each other, but still you can be who you are. That's what I'm trying to say here, right? So we all 18 personalities here, different personalities, right? They're not bringing all Lawrence there, like 18 of you, 18 of Naseer, then it will be boring, right? The whole reason they're bringing different personalities, because they try to put different personalities in one island, on an island with no food, nothing, and no rope even, so and so, right? So 1 or 2 days, 3 days, then the starvation, the deprivations, all the hungry, thinking about family, right? So it changes, and it brings out your true color, who you are. I believe that if I was mad and fighting with someone, that is me back in my home too, right? For an example, I can take Danny, right? Nice and calm and cool like cucumber most of the time. He's the same. That's what I'm trying to say. Anything you see over there, people just do things. In general, I'm talking. I don't believe that saying that, no, I'm playing the game because this is not my lifestyle. Yeah, that is not your lifestyle, but that is your personality.
Love it. Naseer, who would you, if you could have bequeathed your idol to somebody after you left the game, who would you have given it to?
Because Abby followed me. I felt it. Otherwise, I could have given to Danny or Abby.
Danny or Evie. Would you say you're closest to Danny and Deshaun and Evie after your season, or who are you closest to after you played Survivor?
Well, that's a great question. Many of them.
Yeah, that's why you would have won. That's why you would have won the $1 million this year, because you're friends with everybody. That was my problem.
Yeah. So for me, I'm fine. I'm like, it's a game we played, So again, you will meet some great friends that will continue for lifelong. Sometimes you will meet friends just for the game. That is how things work, right? Anyways, like you're traveling somewhere, having an experience, you'll meet a friend that you will see that this person, or based on how you experience, you will have lifelong friendship. Some you will, if you have to stop, or you have to keep it as neutral. That's all, move on. I'd rather fill up my life with positiveness or positivity than going back to whatever things happen. I don't like that. Past is past.
Onward and upward. I love that, Naseer. So speaking of the future, I know you have a passion for cooking. Tell us about your YouTube channel and what you're going to be up to.
So I just began, I would say, right? I always had, matter of fact, I wrote my cookbook. And
when's it coming out?
Well, it's under editing. I will ask Diana. So, well, behind the scene that I want to tell one thing, I made a feast out there.
Okay, let's hear about Naseer's kitchen in Fiji.
Yes. Naseer's kitchen in Fiji. I did. I can tell you this. I'm like, it's like out there, maybe not. Because they can't incorporate everything what happened on the island in an hour episode, right? So I made a dish called coco breadish on the island.
What is it? Sounds good.
It's coco bread, of course. The coco bread. You add I remember you were eating the ripe one. I don't know how you ate that, Lauren.
It wasn't good. It was horrible. And they were all eating it like it was delicious. And I'm like, this does not taste good.
No. So I'm like, Lauren, what are you eating there? That is not the way to eat coco bread.
No, So tell me the right way to eat it, Naseer.
The right way to eat. All right. So you remove the skin, cut into pieces of 1 or 2 inches cubes, and remove the inside part, and you boil it. If you don't have salt water, of course, get the ocean water and boil it, right? Then you eat. It's just carb. It's good. if you don't have anything except rainwater and sand, of course, cocoa bread is better, better than rainwater and sand, right? We don't eat the sand, but I'm saying nothing else to eat except coconut. How long you can eat coconut? So then I was trying to come up with something, right? So then what I did is, so I created a the masher. So I did some coconut pieces, cut coconut pieces, mash it really nice. Then I boiled the coconut. We've been eating with just boiled and eat the cocoa bread. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do some patties here. So I mixed that coconut, the cocoa bread entirely, added the coconut, added some salt water. Then I made like a real flour there, right? Then I made patties over there. So ask them. And I found green chilies, then I found papaya, then we start catching some crab. I caught crab every day when we have that Hawaiian fishing. So we're mixing up patties. So, but I don't show them how to do those stuff, because, you know, that's a strategy. Because if you know, then they will kick out. But even I gave them, I show them how to do, but they can't. So then I came up with a name called coco-breadish. So they're asking, okay, do you have a special name for your the dish you came up? So I put cocoa bread, remove the bread part, coconut and cocoa bread, right? I mixed it together. I came up with coco breadish. So I was expecting they will show that, but they did not, and they did not air that. But yeah, I made the dish called On Survivor on the island in the jungle called coco breadish.
I love that. You heard it here first. Honestly, Naseer, since you do have a passion for cooking, you should add that recipe to your cookbook.
Well, matter of fact, it is on my cookbook. It is pretty simple, and that's why everybody, since you told me that I can talk about my YouTube channel, I have passion. My dad, I heard that he had a restaurant. In our culture, the way I grew up, it's not only women cooks, which is most of the places, I would say. In Sri Lanka or Arab countries, always they have like okay, women has to do all this stuff. But in my family household that I grew up, no, you cook. As a father, your son, you cook for your mom and sisters and your wife. So I heard that my father even had a restaurant, but I never saw that. Never. And maybe, I don't know, maybe a small restaurant just under the coconut tree, who knows? You know. So then I'm like, you know what, I always want to do something. I want to, because I can cook pretty good. I'm a great chef. So that's why I'm like, I started, then I stopped for a little bit, but then I wrote my cookbook. I included the coco breadish, and then I received a letter. I don't want to tell who. I received a letter from someone saying that I want to see your cookbook. You will be really good at it. I'm like, okay, yeah. And my mother,
Food Network, here he comes.
my mother-in-law always said that since the day that she met me, I cooked for her in Dubai in 2011. She said, Naseer, you should write your cookbook. Before when I got married to Diana. So then here we go. I already finished my cookbook. It's very simple, over 30 menus, 30 recipes. Will be released or published soon. But before that, I want to please subscribe my channel's YouTube channel, please, right? Because I want to do it. I bought a kitchen outside to have a nice burner and everything. So I start doing it. Yeah, I love to do like a travel channel, or like, you know, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy traveling. So I can do it. And also I can, like, for an example, I have videos that I took from Sri Lanka. We still cook over there on the real food, in the kitchen. Even my mom, because they don't use gas, they use gas. What happened was there were some local gas deliveries, then the gas it's blowing up, then people dying. So everybody scared to use gas. But in our house, my mother and my sister-in-law, everybody uses real tree branch to cook food, like a real fire. So we have in our house. So yeah, so I'm planning to do a lot of videos, and of course most of them will be from my cookbook as well. And even matter of fact, I put that crab curry day before yesterday. I did So that is not on the book, but there are a lot of food that you can cook. Yes, I want to do my YouTube channel, so please subscribe and learn something with Naseer, right?
Yes, learn something with Naseer. I love that, Naseer. And honestly, like you said, all of the things that you're talking about right now, I think people would be very invested and very interested in watching that. And you have that beautiful, big, beaming smile. So literally anything you say, people are going to want to watch. The last question I have for you, Naseer, is I know the Survivor fandom absolutely loved you. What has been your best fan interaction after the show?
Oh my God.
They love you.
A lot. So I can give you this, like, for an example, like at the airport, I went to Sri Lanka, like on December 18th. From the check-in point to the flight, almost, I would say, literally like 40 people that come to me and took picture with me in San Francisco. So the fans that I really love, of course, I love all the fans out there. Thank you so much to everyone. I really, really appreciate. When I go to my daughter's school or like my son's preschool, all those little ones will come and like, hey, Naseer, he'll give me a high five, like, those are great moments. And always, the other thing is that like, when I run on there's a trail right next to our house. Before, I don't have to stop to anybody. Now, every time you have to stop. Wow, that's Naseer, how are you doing? So even though you're trying to finish your 5K within 30 minutes or whatever, then now if you don't stop, they think like, okay, he's not the same person that I met on TV or I saw on TV. So he's really arrogant. He's just running away from me. So I can't do that. So I have to stop every time running. So I go like a really late night, like in the evening, people will be not there because there are a lot of mountain lions around here. So I put, again, it's late and cold. So I go like in the evening or early morning. So I don't want to see, it's not, I don't want to see, so I can just go and finish and come back. Lot of fans. Thank God. Thanks, friends. Thanks, fans.
Everyone loves you. Fan favorite. Where can everyone keep up with you on social media, Naseer?
Sorry, again?
Where can everyone keep up with you on social media?
Where?
Yes, where? Like, what's your handle? I think it's at Naseer. Hold on. We're going to get it. It is at, tell me how to pronounce your last name, Naseer.
Muttalif, M-U-T-T-A.
Muttalif. So it's M-U-T-T-A-L-I-F, Naseer. That's your handle. That's what people will ask you, Naseer. They want to know all about you and how to keep up with your social media.
At Naseer Muttalif. That's good. See, taught me something. Thank you so much. I never even.
Yes, I will always.
You are a social media guru.
Thank you. Coming from you, that means the world. Naseer, you have been so much fun to sit down and talk with today. I really, really appreciate your transparency. Thank you for giving us a behind the scenes look on your game. To everybody that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to tell you, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned as we take a little pre-merge flight next week and interview season 41's JD and Sara. I'm Ashley Beck. This is Life After Borneo, and I'll see you next week. Bye.